Nasality versus nasal resonance in singing. Is it good or is it bad? They are two completely different things. And if you don't know the difference or don't know how to control it in your voice, then this video is for you. Welcome back to another edition of Victoria's Vocal Tips. 30 years of teaching voice, 42 years of studying voice, all different styles. My students have ranged from ultra beginners all the way through advanced touring professionals, including voice teachers and choral directors. I always give you serious vocal technique made simple and fun. Let's start out by talking about the difference between nasality and nasal resonance and when we use them. And I am going to include 6 important exercises. So let's get sciencey for a minute. Nasal resonance is caused by air waves and bone conduction in the nasopharyngeal cavity. That's the area behind the nose, not in the nose. Big difference. So you can experience this area by pretending you're smelling a beautiful rose. Let's do it. You feel that area open up, or pretend maybe you're stuffed up, you have a cold and you're inhaling a Vicks inhaler like this. You can feel that open up, or like you're getting ready to sneeze. Feel that area there. It kind of feels like a wide shelf to me. Nasal resonance is an important part of a beautiful tone because it gives us that ring, ping, and cut that we need. There's that beautiful bell-like quality, and we need an element of this in just about every style of singing. Without it, the tone is dull, or I call it woolly. Versus watch my video on ring. So if nasal resonance is the area behind the nose, nasality is in the nose. The sound gets trapped in the nose. This is caused when the soft palate, or some people call it the velum, is too low, which then opens up the nasal port and allows air to come out of the nose. That equals nasality. I want you to experience this right now. Exercise 1. We're going to hum on a sustained or down here. And in the middle of the note, I want you to close your nostrils. Pinch them shut and see what happens. Here we go. Oh. Oh. See, the sound stops. M is a nasal consonant, so air comes out of the nose. But when you closed your nostrils, the air stopped. That shows you that you're nasal. The same thing will happen on an N. Let's do it. Oh, what about NG? There you go. So if those are nasal consonants, how do we sing a vowel and not make it nasal? Well, that's exercise 2. We're going to start with our hum, and then we're going to open to an E vowel. But this time, I want a little bit of yawny space in the back of the throat, the beginning of a yawn. This means that your soft palate or your velum will be a bit higher. So it'll be like this. Or down here. Let's do it. Again. Now to test for nasality, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to pinch your nostrils closed in the middle of the vowel. So I'll do it nasal first. If there's a difference in the tone when I close my nostrils, then I know I'm nasal. How about down here? You see? So if there's a change in the tone when you pinch your nostrils, that's a sign of nasality because you're blocking the air that wants to come out of the nose. If there's no change, then you're not nasal. Now, sometimes people sound nasal and they're not actually nasal. They're singing with too much twang, but that's another video we don't have time for today. So I'm not saying nasality is good or bad. nasality should be a stylistic choice. It depends upon the sound you want. I only say something is bad in singing if it causes constriction or potential harm. So remember, once again, that nasal resonance is an important part of the tone. Remember your 3 parts of singing: respiration, phonation, resonation. Super important. Watch my video on resonance. Now, as far as nasality, a degree of nasality is part of certain styles, or else it wouldn't sound right. What about Stevie Wonder? Ma chérie amant. Or Amy Winehouse, me and Mr. Jones. What about country? Who doesn't love Dolly Parton? But we need to have that nasality in that style. But what about in classical? In classical, nasality is not a desired quality unless you're singing French vowels. Chantant. But again, that's a thread of nasality, not chantant, which leads me to where singers get into problems with nasality. They go too far, and then they start to sound like a character voice. Hello, my name is SpongeBob. Or Alvin and the Chipmunks. I still want the hula hoop. Even if you don't take it to that excess, too much nasality is going to thin your voice out too much, and it starts to sound annoying, just grating on the ears. Now, how to control the degree of nasality? Sometimes we want some. Many a times I'll tell my students, I think a thread of nasality there will add a little bit more edge to the tone in that part of the song. So I'm going to demonstrate me holding a note, okay, with different degrees of arching my palate. So this is going to be neutral, this is going to be a little bit higher, this is going to be too high, this is back to neutral, this is low, okay? So listen. You notice I didn't change anything on the outside. I just changed the position of my soft palate. You can do the same. So let's do this together, and we're just going to experiment with different levels of arching our palate, okay? Middle voices will be here, low voices can be down here, high voices can be here. I'll do it with the middle voices this time. You see, when you arch the palate too much, well, that's what I tell you not to do in a lot of my videos. That's too much yawn, and that makes the tone spread, diffused, and woolly. Now, sometimes people sing nasal because they are thinking of placing the tone too far forward. I hardly ever use that term, actually, place the tone forward. In my experience, people that put too much emphasis on singing forward usually wind up singing like this. And they wind up closing off the back of the throat because they're trying to put the voice in the bones of the face. And then they get that thin, whiny sound. Sometimes people's soft palates are a little bit sluggish or lazy. I would do a lot of those straw phonation exercises. Phonating through a straw, or blowing bubbles in water through a straw. Sometimes people let the nasal consonants, M, N, or NG, infuse too much of that nasality into the vowel. So let's do an exercise to combat nasality. If nasality is caused by the soft palate being too low, then we're going to do an exercise on ya. The ya helps to arch the soft palate, helps to open up the back of the throat, and also gets the tongue from closing off that space. So it's going to be real simple, just ya. There's your slight beginning of a yawn. Here we go. Ya. One more. And you can check for nasality like I did earlier. Ya. No change. Next, exercise 6. We do want nasal resonance as your default, part of your beautiful and balanced tone. So now we're going to do the same simple 5-tone scale, but this time on nya. We have the N nasal consonant with the Y to open up the back of the throat. So they will hopefully balance each other out, like this. Nya, 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 nya. Here we go. Nya, 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 nya. N-Y-A. Nya, 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 nya. And once again, check for your nasality. Nya, 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 nya. No change if I don't want to be nasal. Now, it is so important to do the right exercises for your particular vocal needs. So, for example, if you're nasal and you're doing a lot of exercises on nay, 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 sorry, that's not going to help you. Or if your voice is really, really woolly and kind of swallowed and you need nasal resonance, doing exercises on ga, 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 it's not going to help you either. This is why I developed Victoria's Vocal Exercise Program, where I give you specific exercises for all of your different vocal needs. Train smart and don't do random exercises without knowing the purpose. It is now time for Victoria's Wisdom. Nasal resonance is an important element in singing. Nasality is an important element in style. Know the difference and know how to use them. I hope you have enjoyed another edition of Victoria's Vocal Tips. Don't forget to subscribe. Tell your friends. Leave me some comments. Leave me some thumbs up. Don't forget to follow me on social media. And know the difference between nasality and nasal resonance and how to use them in your singing. I look forward to seeing everyone again very soon.